cookies baked fresh this morning are waiting for you on the kitchen counter. Okay, so this is a great example of why we just have to accept the way it's written. I see there is a comma here. That indicates this is a comma phrase. The cookies, comma, baked fresh this morning. It has to be this because if we say, okay, the cookies baked fresh this morning, we could cross it out. Then it would just say the cookies are waiting for you. This is fine as long as the cookies have already been discussed before. Um, boy, this makes me really want to bake cookies. Um, however, we could, so this is the answer because the cookies, comma, baked fresh this morning, comma, waiting for you. There's already a comma here, so we've got to deal with it. We make it a comma phrase. Now, we could argue if we wanted to be the sort of person who argues with standardized tests and stuff, we could say like, oh, but you don't need a comma, right? You could just say the cookies baked fresh this morning are waiting for you on the kitchen counter. And this is actually not really wrong, I don't think, right? The cookies baked fresh this morning are waiting for you on the kitchen counter. That seems fine. I don't think we really need commas. But that doesn't matter for this question because the question isn't, did we make a mistake in writing this and there shouldn't be a comma? No, the question is like, hey, yo, there's a comma here. You got to match it. If we had this instead, if we had this as our question, right, and there was no comma here, then the answer would be no comma there because we got to match it. Um, so there are two correct ways to do this, right? But there's only one correct answer for this because they gave you a comma. They said, hey, there is a comma in this sentence. That means you gotta make this a comma phrase. If we just keep it as one comma, it would not be correct. And that's actually something worth noting. Just because the subject is long doesn't mean there's going to be a comma. So, for example, if I say, well, like this sentence, right? If I say the cookies that I baked fresh this morning are on the counter. Um, let's make this even more ridiculously long as a subject. The cookies that I baked fresh this morning, after waking up at 5 a.m. Okay, so this is like a really ridiculously long subject, right? The cookies that I baked fresh this morning after waking up at 5 a.m. And we might intuitively feel like, oh, this is such a long subject. We should throw a comma in just so that our reader understands. And like realistically, in creative writing, you can totally do what you want. And I understand wanting to pause for the reader. But on the SAT, ACT, PSAT, and just any like formal English thing you're being graded on, this would not be correct to have a comma here. I'm going to delete it loudly and dramatically because there's just no grammatical reason for it. There's no comma phrase here, right? The cookies that I baked fresh this morning after waking up at 5 a.m., it's not a comma phrase. Now I could make it one. I could throw a comma there, throw a comma there, and then say that after waking up at 5 a.m. is like not essential. And that would be okay. But if we don't have a comma there, then there's no comma phrase. The cookies that I baked fresh this morning after waking up at 5 a.m., um, there can't be a comma here. So I don't know. That's interesting, maybe. Okay. So the answer, anyway, that was a journey to the answer is just a comma.